Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Yesterday I started carving these little sprites to go around the base of the temple. But first I've got to build up the temple so I have somewhere to put them. I'm going to start working on the base that goes underneath this part of the temple, and it'll have 4 doorways. It'll raise this part of the temple quite high off the ground. And then I can fit these sprites in underneath the heads in a ring around the temple. So a lot of work to go. So I'm going to start casting these major pieces for underneath this part of the temple today. I've got my plasticine out, so I'll lay it between here and roll it out to get an even thickness, and I'll use it for the edging to cast my new cement pieces. So I'm just getting it to approximately the right shape, and then I'll roll it out to get it nice and square. Okay, I think that'll do. All right, here I go. That is getting pretty close. I've got my plasticine rolled out to the right thickness, so now I'm going to cut it in half because I don't need that much of a wall on my mold. So, here I go. I need my knife. All right, here I go with my knife. That'll make it a lot easier. There we go. So now I can build up my walls with these pieces. So I'll need some measurements. Here's a look at the square on the bottom that I'm going to match up. So I'm just going to take a measurement, 10 centimeters square. So that's what I've got to make. So I will cut these off. I'll square up the end first. Measure my 10 centimeters, which is about 4 inches. Like that. There's one piece. Yeah. Two pieces. Three pieces. Not enough there. We'll have to switch to this one. And square up the end here. Four pieces. All right. So the first section will just be a straight square, and maybe even I'm thinking I might need 2 square sections because I have to have the height of my sprites. Oh, where am I here? Yeah, I need, let me see here. My height is 2 centimeters. So I would need, it's about 8 to the very top. So I need 4 sections, 4 square sections, and then I'll start building it out at the base so the legs and that can sit on top of that extended plus sign. I think that's a good plan. All right, so I've got 4 sections I need to make. I'll be busy. Let me see if I can get some more molds going here so I can pour a couple at a time. I've got enough plasticine strips now to make 4 sections, so I'll start laying them out like this. So it'll go corner to corner, and then I'll fill the corners in with some plasticine. And I'll have to make it hollow in the middle too. So I'll just square up my mold here, and I I'll use the edge to kind of guide me. That way I'll get a nice square section. Everything will be true. So I think about there, and then I'll add the putty at the corners. And that'll lock in the shape. And I'll just add some putty to the inside of these to kind of hold them together. Like that. Right there. So that's ready for casting now. I've got one mold done, so I'm going to make a few more. I don't think I'll do all 4 at once. I think that would be a little ambitious. I think by the time I got maybe 2 poured, the cement might harden and I might waste a lot. So I think I'll just do 2 at a time. I've got my 4 molds all ready for the cement now. All right, here we go. The cement is going in. Mold number 1. Make sure my cement's not quite runny enough. I added all kinds of water to it, but I think it'll be okay. As long as it gets in all those corners. I gotta do that with a spoon, make sure it gets in all the corners. Just filling my mold up nicely. Not too high. Oh dear. I gotta work fast with this stuff. Make sure it's level on top, because the next piece has to sit on top of this one. Okay, here goes number 2. Don't know how successful this one will be. The cement, I should have only done 1 at a time. This cement just hardens so quickly. Come on, into the corners. However, I think it's working out. A bit more cement on some of the lower spots. And that is cast. 2 of them are cast now. I've got all my 4 pieces cast now. It's after lunch now and the sun is coming out. And my squares look dry enough that I can take them out of the mold. So here I go. I'll remove these corner pieces first. Like that. Oh, look at that sun coming out. Fantastic. It's been really cloudy lately. Very dark and gray. And so it's nice to get some sun in the plant room. Keep my plants very happy. I like when my plants are happy. Okay, so there's the outside part. So I got to release it from the plywood here. There we go. And there's my inside mold. A bit of a airspace there, but that's okay. That'll get filled with cement when I bond it all together. All the cement on the plasticine, I just chip it off. It comes off. I throw out my bucket of water over there, and I can reuse the plasticine. It doesn't seem to get very contaminated. It's been really good. I've certainly got my money's worth out of this plasticine. Okay, I'm going to remove the final 2 pieces here, and then I can get it off the plywood. There it goes. And I can take out my internal mold. This one, yeah, you know, you can see where it flowed here, and there's a bit of a gap, but I think it'll be fine. All the stresses on this are in compression, the weight of the temple above, so it'll be plenty strong enough to hold the temple up. There it goes. Take out my internal mold here. Now this one cast really nicely. That's the bottom side of it. There's no defects in it at all. Wow. Occasionally I get something right. Okay, so that gets stacked up like that. So I now have enough height that my Sprite can be positioned in front. I'll show you what I've got planned here. So these will get stacked up like that. And then my first part of the temple will go up here like that. And then my sprites will go around the base here, and they will go around. Now they'll kind of sit on the corner, one on the corner, and maybe 3 across, and another one on the corner. It looks like they're rounded in the pictures, but I think they're just kind of in a row and then a corner one, from what I can see. And then from the base now I'll start my plus sign, so it'll start extending out at the base here, and then we'll put our doorways underneath. But it's going to be quite large. It's going to be a big structure when it's all done. Here's a close-up, and this kind of gives you an idea of what it'll all look like when it's done. And of course these figures will be kind of cast against the wall, so it'll kind of beef this section up a bit. Yeah, it'll be quite interesting. I'm going to cast one more piece today, and it'll be my biggest piece ever, and that'll be the base that all these sprites will sit on. It'll be the start of my plus sign at the bottom, or my cross shape. So that'll be kind of exciting. It'll be a fairly big piece. So I'll start getting the plasticine ready for that kind of a form. I'm ready to begin laying out the base now. So this is my column, and then I want my sprites to sit around them. So I need to come out at least that far. So how far is that? That is, I would say I need 4 centimeters. The knees will just slightly overhang, or I may take some off the back side, push it back against the wall more. This will all be kind of molded in to look like it was cut out of one big piece of stone. So I think 4 centimeters. So I'll be making now, yeah, I think the first stage I'll just have to make a larger rectangle because I want my sprite sitting on the corner. And then off of that big square, I've got to bring my big plus sign. If I just brought it off here, then I couldn't have a sprite on the corner. I kind of want one there. I'll check my reference pictures one more time, just to make sure what I'm doing is kind of going to look good. I checked my reference pictures, and that does look about right, coming out with a big square underneath this central tower. I'm laying out the mold for my base piece. It's getting quite large, unbelievable. So I'm just reinforcing the corners here. So now I've got to make my internal one to make it hollow. So I'll want, this tower has to sit on top of this foundation. So I'm probably going to have to go right to the inside shape so I have full contact of the tower on this base plate. I thought about maybe making it halfway, but then I think I want the full weight on a good flat concrete surface. So I think that was it 6? Yeah, 6 by 6 centimeters. So I'll make a piece for the middle. I've got my mold all ready to pour the concrete in. This is going to be a big piece. It's really quite massive. So I'll have to mix up, I don't know how much concrete. One of these takes about 8 big spoonfuls. And it's a lot bigger than that. Yeah, I'm going to have to mix up a lot. I might have to do it in layers. Mix up some, pour it. Mix up some more, fill it up more. I just don't want it hardening on me in the tub before I get it all into the mold. All right, I'll mix up the cement and let's try it out and see how it goes. Okay, in goes as much as I've mixed up anyway. So here we go. And it shouldn't stick to the wood, I hope. Boy. I think this is going to take a lot of cement. Wow. Okay. And in the mold it goes. I'll do this corner first. Like that. Okay, and in the mold it goes. Maybe some of these high spots I can take down a bit. Yeah. Oh, I can feel it getting hot. Amazing. Wow, it's really hot. Okay, it's going on. The final layer. Let's get it smoothed in. Wow, this is really hot. So I think I have it filled enough. I just have to smooth it out a bit with my hand. Because there will be another layer that sits on top of this or underneath it. Or both. Both, I guess. So I'm just smoothing it out with my hand now. So when the layers go together, it's a fairly flat surface. And I think that's it. That is a big piece I just cast. I hope it works out okay. I'll let my large base plate dry, and then we'll come back and take it out of the mold and see how it turned out. I've let my base plate here dry for a good over an hour. So I'm going to try and release the mold now. Release it from the mold. So I'll take my corner pieces away, like that. Now I'll peel away the edge, and hopefully it will all turn out quite nice. There it goes. Whew. So glad it came off. Okay. Oh, there's the bottom of it. Looking all right. I will remove my plasticine from the center. Well, that's a nice piece. It turned out quite nice, actually. There's a few little spots where the cement didn't really fill, a bit of a void there, but not a bad piece. I'm happy with that. So now I can combine all these pieces I cast today. I can cement them up. Just clean up my center hole here. Well, that seems pretty good. Now I'll clean up the edges also. I'm going to check now and see what it looks like all assembled. So here we go. So this will be all stacked up like this. This is all my new pieces I made today. And I'll have to make sure it's square on the base plate here. I'll measure it out when we go to cement it finally up there. Okay, and then my existing piece will go on top here. Like that. Wow, it's getting large. And then around the edges will be my sprites, which will go around here. Well, that's going to be quite something. When I get this ring of sprites going around the base, that'll all hold this securely together. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's nice to see the height now. Yeah, I'm liking it. My sprites fit on quite nicely. along the edges here. So I'll be casting these in cement. And I was thinking, I don't know if I'll make a whole bunch of them. I might just duplicate the one all the way around. On the real temple, most of them are chipped away, so you can't really see too much detail on them anyway. I think that'd make it simpler just to duplicate this one all the way around. I think I'll need 1, 2, 3 across the front face and a corner one. So that means 12 plus 4. That's 16 we need total. That's a lot of little sprites I have to cast. I'm going to let these new pieces dry tonight, and I'm going to let my sprite dry another day, and then I'll start working on this assembly, cementing it all together tomorrow, casting my sprites to go around the base here, and then I'll finally put the top on. I still have a lot of carving work to do with the chisel and the hammer, so I want to finish all that before I put the top on here, because right now it's fairly easy to work on. So I think I'll continue with this piece tonight, doing a lot of chiseling and carving, and then tomorrow I'll start on this sub-assembly, getting this together. Today wasn't a really exciting day of temple building, but I did get my base plate all cast and ready for assembly, so that'll be exciting seeing this sub-assembly come together in the next day or two. Tonight I'll keep working away, carving out the tops of these faces on the temple, getting that looking better. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.